A woman collapsed in her kitchen on a Tuesday morning. Her daughter found her on the floor, eyes open, not breathing. She called emergency services immediately. The paramedics arrived within 12 minutes. They checked for vital signs. No pulse, no breathing, pupils fixed and dilated. They tried resuscitation for 18 minutes. Nothing. The lead paramedic looked at his watch and called it. Time of death recorded. The family made arrangements quickly. The heat was oppressive that week. The funeral happened the next day. A simple ceremony. 30 people attended. The husband stood at the graveside, barely speaking. His 2 daughters held his arms as the coffin was lowered into the ground. The cemetery workers filled the grave. The mourners left in groups, heading back to the family home for the wake. Everyone except the husband. He told his daughters to go ahead. He needed time alone. He stood there for 20 minutes, staring at the fresh earth. Then he turned to leave. That's when he heard it. A sound, faint, coming from the ground. He stopped walking, listened. Nothing. Must have been the wind, he thought. He took another step. There it was again. A thump, then another. Rhythmic, like knocking. His hands started shaking. He looked around. The cemetery was empty. The workers had gone. He was alone. Then he heard the voice. Muffled, distant, but unmistakable. A woman's voice, calling, screaming. He stumbled backward. His mind couldn't process what was happening. His wife was dead. The doctors confirmed it. The paramedics confirmed it. She was dead. But that voice, he knew that voice. He ran all the way to his car, drove home, told no one.
That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing it. That voice, those screams. Was it real? Had he imagined it? Grief does things to the mind, he told himself. Grief creates illusions. The next morning, his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? This is Maria Santos. I live on Cemetery Road, near where you buried your wife yesterday. His blood went cold. I'm sorry to bother you at this time, she continued. But I heard something last night from the cemetery. It sounded like someone calling for help. He dropped the phone. His daughters found him sitting on the floor, staring at nothing. They asked what was wrong. He couldn't speak. The second night, Maria Santos called again. 2 other neighbors had heard it too. A woman's voice, coming from the new grave. They'd called the police. The police said it was impossible. Told them grief makes people hear things. The third night, the sounds stopped. The husband couldn't take it anymore. He went to his daughters, told them everything, what he'd heard, the neighbors' calls. They needed to exhume the body. His older daughter refused immediately. Papa, no. Mama is at rest. You can't disturb her grave. It's desecration. What if you're wrong? What if it was just the wind, or the ground settling, or your mind playing tricks? What if I'm right? He whispered.
7 years later, the city announced plans to expand the main road. The cemetery stood in the way. All graves would be relocated to a newer facility outside town. The families were notified. The exhumations would be handled professionally, respectfully. The husband received the letter. His hands shook as he read it. Part of him dreaded this moment. part of him had been waiting for it. The exhumation happened on a cold morning. He insisted on being there. His daughters tried to stop him, but he refused to listen. The cemetery workers were efficient, professional. They reached the coffin within an hour, lifted it carefully, placed it beside the grave. The funeral director approached him. "Sir, we need to confirm the identity. Would you like to wait in the car?" "No, I need to see." They opened the coffin. The funeral director's face changed immediately. He turned pale. One of the workers stepped back, crossing himself. The body had moved. She wasn't lying flat anymore. She was on her side, facing the lid. Her hands were raised, pressed against the silk lining above. The funeral director leaned closer. Then he looked at the husband, and his expression said everything. "Sir, I think you should see this." The inside of the coffin lid showed marks, scratches, deep gouges in the wood beneath the fabric, and her fingernails, what was left of them, broken, torn, bloody. The husband's legs gave out. His daughters caught him. They were screaming, crying. The funeral director called the authorities immediately. The police arrived. A pathologist was summoned. They documented everything, photographed the evidence, took statements. The pathologist's preliminary report was clear. Evidence of post-burial movement, evidence of physical trauma sustained after internment, evidence of continued biological function after death was pronounced. She had been alive. When they buried her, she had been alive. The investigation began immediately. The paramedics were questioned, their procedures reviewed. The lead paramedic broke down during his interview. We followed protocol. We checked everything. There was no pulse, no breathing, no response to painful stimuli. Every indicator said she was gone. The medical examiner explained, Lazarus syndrome. It happens when the body appears completely dead but retains minimal brain function. The heart can restart spontaneously, sometimes minutes after resuscitation attempts end. In rare cases, much later. How long could she have survived down there? The husband asked. The medical examiner hesitated. In a sealed coffin, with the oxygen available, conscious and screaming, 2 days, maybe 3. I'm sorry. 3 days. The same 3 days the neighbors heard the voice. The case made national news briefly. Medical communities debated protocols. Some hospitals changed their procedures, extending the observation period before death is officially pronounced. But for the family, none of that mattered.
The husband never recovered. The guilt consumed him. He'd heard her. That first day, minutes after the burial, he'd heard his wife calling for help, and he'd run away. His daughters tried to convince him it wasn't his fault. Papa, even if you dug, even if you'd called someone, would they have believed you? Would they have helped? Would they have gotten there in time? I'll never know, he said, because I didn't try. He died 7 years after the exhumation. Heart attack. His daughters found a journal in his desk afterward, pages and pages, written in the middle of sleepless nights, the same sentences repeated thousands of times. I heard her, I should have dug. I heard her, I should have dug. They buried him beside his wife in the new cemetery. At the funeral, his younger daughter spoke. My father died 7 years ago, she said. The day he heard my mother's voice and didn't act. His body just took this long to realize it. The case remains in medical literature as a cautionary tale. Patient declared dead at scene, minimal resuscitation time, no extended observation period, spontaneous revival after burial, death by suffocation. The scratch marks inside that coffin are preserved as evidence. Sometimes they're shown to medical students, a reminder that death isn't always as certain as it appears, that protocols exist for reasons, that sometimes, rarely, impossibly, the dead come back, but usually too late. The cemetery where she was originally buried still stands, though most graves have been moved. Sometimes, at night, neighbors report hearing sounds from the empty plots. Probably the wind, probably animals, probably nothing. But they hear it anyway, and they wonder. Because now they know sometimes the sounds from underground aren't imagination. Sometimes they're not grief playing tricks. Sometimes they're real. And sometimes no one comes to help.